we said to Monsanto, if you have contaminated our seeds and plants in canola, you should be liable for the damages you have done. And so we stood up to Monsanto. And that's what has happened in Europe. It's because they have labeling, and that's why the Europeans don't want it. And that's what we need here in North America, in both countries. I know that in the vote in California in November, it was lost, but it was a very narrow margin, but it's not over. So there's a criteria that has to be met, and it's very lengthy. In fact, the United States had an organic criteria before Canada did, and we were using the American criteria until we got our own, because we had to meet the Europeans put a higher standard on, so we had to get our own, because the Europeans told Canada, if you don't get your own, you won't be able to ship any grain. We also have 80 world headquarters in 80 different countries of the world, so as long as people keep buying their stock, it's on the stock market, it'll keep on. But the only way I feel it's through the consumer that can stop Monsanto. There's another reason why Monsanto doesn't want labeling, and the reason is the health issue. If you had labeling, and then you had some ailment, and you went to the doctor, the doctor could look at what foods you are eating. A database could be built up, and that's one of the main reasons Monsanto does not want labeling, because that database could be built up in the health issue. And the health issue, I think, is one of the main issues now. Is people are really becoming aware of the effects of eating the toxins. There's another important item I should mention. A lot of people that work for companies in the scientific department or research department are having a big problem, and we've been at meetings in Washington, D.C. With them, is that when they work or decide to work or start working for a corporation like in research, and they develop some ailment, they cannot take that company to court, because in their document, in their terms of agreement, they give their rights up to their genes. So if something happens in ailment, they cannot sue the company. That's another thing you have to watch in the fine print. Very much with corporations now, do you own your own body? And a lot of people have given up the ownership of their own body by giving away without knowing.
We believe, people like me who come from South Dakota and 4 generations of living on the earth, and the Lakota people, we say that if you really want to have a true experience in life, if you want to change your world, get your hands in the dirt, right? So, now, here's the deal. You've heard all that's going on. Now, it doesn't matter that you showed up if you're not willing to do something about it, right? And it's not just about protesting or writing letters or how you vote, although all of that has a big deal to do with it. Sue Thomas has always been a great proponent. Know who your local banker is. Build these local relationships. That's really a key here, because our money stays in our local community, and that's what moves us forward. The most powerful thing that you can do is pay attention to where you're spending every single dollar, whatever that is, wherever that is. And these young ladies, Rachel and Ariane, are going to talk to you about how you can get involved with GMO-Free Arizona. So give them a big round of applause.
The importance of the sign-up sheet is so that you can get invited to events like this. We have movie showings planned. We're going to be showing Genetic Roulette very soon, which, if you don't know it, it's by Jeffrey Smith with the Institute for Responsible Technology. Ariane actually works for the Institute for Responsible Technology, and she has a few of Jeffrey's products here tonight. So if you want to learn a little more about GMO GMOs or a lot more about GMOs, that is a very good start at that table. The proceeds from genetic roulette sales go to GMO-Free Arizona, which is who we are. We are organizing the state. We're pulling in all the activists, we're pulling in people who are concerned about this. We're hosting events and we're educating the public. Eventually we will move into labeling. I mean, we're gonna put a ballot initiative together. That's what it's gonna take in the state. In order to do that, that's a lot of work, folks, and we have very good senators who really want this as well, and we're working closely with them. So we're gonna need people doing petitions for us. We're gonna need volunteers for events. We need leaders to come forward. We cannot do this on our own. It is going to take a massive village to pull it off. I firmly believe that Arizona is the dark horse in this race. Nobody thinks we're going to get labeling. This is a very corporate state. We are not progressive. We are the threat they will not see coming. And I wanted to let you know that there are some free materials from the Institute for Responsible Technology. They're little brochures. You're welcome to take one of each. There are 4. One is a shopping guide, shopping tips, information about parents with young children or grandparents with young children in the house. So, and the health risks associated. I think we talked about a few of those tonight. Celiac disease, Crohn's disease, IBS, people with food allergies, people with cancer. Again, fundraiser for GMO-Free Arizona, Genetic Roulette. We'll also be doing a public showing of Genetic Roulette in the month of April at the Fusion Foundation at Shadow Rock campus. As a result of that event and ASU's ASU GEO's co-sponsor event for that event, looks like we're going to have a public debate happening with the biotech industry, courtesy of ASU. So we don't want to let them down. We want to show up for that. We want to show up big time. What a great idea. I really...
Yeah, well, GMOs, chemtrails.
Yeah, chemtrails and GMOs, it's the same people. So we're here.
That's what's up.
Exactly. Exactly. So what I want to do is share a little bit of the vision. I mean, I talked about organizing the activists and becoming a hub of information and getting ourselves organized so that we are not going to be rolled over by the biotech industry, that we will be a force unto ourselves. But I shared my vision with you, but I'm hoping that you'll share your vision with me. Tell me where you want to have movie showings. Tell me where you want me to send in a lecturer, a trained speaker to come in and talk to GMOs, talk about GMOs to your students, to your religious groups, to your children's groups, to wherever you're at that you see the need or you see somebody who's curious about what's going on. It's hard to ignore the rise in all the medical problems. I know for me it was 10 years of suffering or more. And it really took understanding that it was my food doing it, and it was through food allergies caused by GMOs, and that was huge for me. And so if I can save somebody else 10 years of suffering, I'm all about it. The other thing is these kids are being brought up in it. I got introduced in my middle of my life, mid-20s, right? But these guys have been living in it their whole lives. And some of the worst contributors to ill health are children's foods. They're full of GMOs, they're so loaded. The average child has GMOs for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. They are subsidized by our government. And it's time for all of that to stop. And it's time for us to support our farmers, our organic farmers, the people who are making the solutions, the great naturopathic doctors, and the great places where we can find wholesome food, like at the farmers markets. So we really want to support those folks too. We're a new organization, and we definitely need the support of you people. We need volunteers, and we need leaders showing up, giving back to us, and helping us put this message out there. So be part of the team.
There to include everybody in the community to eat healthy food. Everything I make is obviously GMO-free. I mean, it is also made from scratch, it is organic, the vegetables are from local farmers, and on and on and on. A lot of it is meat-free, it is vegetarian, almost vegan, about 80%. So I'm not going to get into this tonight. I have been with my daughter Laila back there, and I have prepared for you black bean burgers, tzatziki sauce, which is the only not lemon tahini sauce, carrot salad, cabbage sesame salad, and